Welcome back to Under Oath. Today we're going to talk to actor John Seda from Brea, Selena, and the boxing film Gladiator. John, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
How tough is that? You've been working on a show for about 30 episodes, and they go, all right, we're closing this out. Is it good to be able to close something out, or is it is it kind of sad?
Yeah, there were different circumstances this time around. You had it started off with a tough schedule with the COVID in 2020. So that kind of messed around with a lot of shows, and we were fortunate to even get the show in. And then there was that recent strike that was going on with the actors' strike and the writers' strike. So we were fortunate to even get the last 6 episodes. So in this case, going into this final season, knowing that it's going to be the last season, it wasn't that bad because at least we felt like we were going to have bookends. We were going to be able to finish the story. We started a story. We're going to be able to finish the story and answer a lot of the questions that the fans had. And I think they did an amazing job in doing that, as people will see in tomorrow's finale.
Now, I'm pretty sure, is it on NBC?
That's NBC.
Okay, so it's probably streaming on Peacock then, right?
That's right. NBC, and it streams on Peacock next day, I think it is.
Now, what's interesting about the streaming situation is a lot of times when people get to watch the whole series and they get to watch all the seasons, it tends to boost the popularity. And, it's really interesting because it could go from Peacock to Netflix or who knows where it could go to. I mean, is it unusual for you now because basically, from Chicago Fire and Chicago PD and all the different shows, now that everyone can watch it all at the same time, do you see that there's a change in viewership?
Yeah, it's strange. It's so TV has just changed so much. It used to be just film and network, and now it's just I can't even list all the ways you can watch something now. But yeah, and again, like, we know this is the final season, but you know how Hollywood is. You never know. You never know. The show. It's such a fun show, such a good show, and there aren't a lot of shows that are out there right now where families can sit around and actually watch together. And I think this is one of those shows. So I'd love to see it continue somehow. Even whether I'm part of it or not. I think it's just a real special show, and I think it's limitless as to what they can do. And I know David Applebaum, the creator, I know he's got so many ideas in his head that he'd love to get out there. So you never know, but yeah, the fact that people can stream it and start from the beginning and watch it and, from beginning to end, I think that's a great thing. It's just a lot of content out there for people.
Well, I know what it's about. So why don't you give us just a quick update about what the show's actually about?
Sure. Yeah, La Brea is about a massive sinkhole that opens up in L.A., and a group of individuals fall in, and, you really follow. The show focuses on this one family, the Harris family, and how they're separated. Not the whole family doesn't fall in, so they're separated, and the major story is about how they can get back to one another. But the whole group of individuals that you meet, this group of individuals down there that are all, they have to band together and come together and try to figure out what's going on, and will they ever see their families again, and where are they, and what's real, what's not real. It's kind of like, I liken it to like Land of the Lost meets Stranger Things meets Jurassic Park.
Now, you kind of had a cool opportunity that a lot of parents don't get, where, I'm reading that one of your sons actually got to portray a younger version of yourself.
I play Dr. Sam on the show, and my real son, who was visiting me, my family was visiting me in Australia, and the producers are like, hey, my son's done a couple things. Acting is not his main thing, but he's done a couple things. And they're like, hey, we got this episode coming up. They need a younger version of you. Would your son want to audition for it? But yeah, sure. He auditioned for it. He ended up getting the part and did a pretty good job.
I always wonder about that because I look a lot like my dad did when he was alive, and I'm wondering, do people say that to you? So, oh, you look just like your father.
Yeah, yeah, he gets that. He doesn't like when we're out some places and somebody might go, "Hey, are you guys brothers?" I take the compliment.
Yeah, that's a cool thing to be able to do. I get to do a lot of cool things in my life, and I have an 18-year-old daughter, and I get to do some cool interviews and meet some cool people. Are your kids ever? I mean, how tough is it to impress them with the stuff you get to do?
It's funny when they were younger, when they were toddlers, and yeah, they were or preteens. They really did. There was really no care in the world. No kind of like if they saw me on TV, my wife will point me out or something, and maybe they'd be like, "Hey, daddy, daddy," but never really cared. But what was pretty wild was, they were always wanting me home. I try to be home as much as I can, and they couldn't understand it. And then my daughter, excuse me, she wrote me a letter once, which was so amazing. Because she finally, when she was older, she got to the set. She was able to visit me on a set, and be behind the scenes, and she got to be behind the monitor and watch scenes being shot and how we went about it and all that. And she really understood how much work goes into it. And she wrote me a letter that basically just said, like, Daddy, I just want you to know I saw, I'm so thankful for all the times that you've been away, and now I understand and how hard you work, and just we're so thankful for what you do. And she just wrote a letter basically saying how much she understood it. And that was just incredible. Imagine, right? To hear
Yeah.
that from your kid.
Wow, that's a moment. And what's interesting is you got into the industry. You were you were boxing, and you get a boxing role out of it. It's a absolutely non-traditional way to get into this field. If one of your kids says to you, "Hey, Dad, I really want to do this," I mean, what advice do you give them? Hey, become a boxer. I mean, what do you even think about telling them?
Well, it's funny because my daughter Haley, she graduated recently from NYU. She went to Tisch at NYU, so this her, she's made the choice. This is the industry she wants to be in. So, but the key word is, she made the choice. It was her choice. I didn't push them, in either direction, but if it's something that whatever they want to do, whatever they want to get involved with, they're going to have our support, wholeheartedly. And but yeah, so my daughter Haley, she's on track. She's on track to being in this business.
Yeah, I remember talking to another famous actor about this because my daughter wants to get in the field too, and she's applying to colleges now. Like NYU is one of those schools too, and it's scary because for me, I worry about her future. I worry about how difficult it is making it in this industry. Did you have to have that tough conversation with her, or did you just let it go?
Yeah, no, yeah, we said, look, you have to understand, this is not good. How things went with me doesn't mean it's how it's going to go with you. And if you really want it, you got to know you're going to be told no, and more than you'll be told yes. And you got to be able to not take it personal and not doubt yourself, because you're going to have many times where you're going to doubt yourself. I mean, I've had that in my career. You still have that. You never stop having that. You have to be able to push if it's what you really want. You have to be able to take the hits and just keep coming back stronger. But you have to know if this is what you really want. And she understood it, and she, is it really is something that she wants. So I said, if you're going to do it, then get the right schooling, and if you're fortunate enough to go to NYU, and she did. She went there and she did great. And of course, she graduates, and there's an actor's strike. So
Oh God,
not the best start.
yeah, that's
Not
no
the best
fun.
start in this field. So she's like, thinking, I want to be working. I want to be working. And I say, hey, look, you just got to be patient. Work on your craft in any kind of way you can. You just and just be patient and just know that your time will come. You just got to, even when you're working and a career happens, you might do a job and then you're on a job and the next one might not come for a while, and you got to, that's just how it kind of is. It's like the stock market. It's up and down.
It's interesting because, there's a finale coming up for La Brea. You've been on this, you've been in Australia, your family's there with you, and you contact your agent. You go, okay, we know this is coming to an end, barring, some Hail Mary. Is your agent, you're going, hey, listen, I need to know the job after this. Or do they just, you go, we're just going to wait till this ends and see what happens after that? How does that even play out?
They're always working and looking for other opportunities, even if this wasn't something that was coming to an end. Because there'll always be a hiatus, and maybe there's a film I can do during a hiatus, or a guest star role on another project, or something that I might want to do, or I might not want to work during a hiatus. But they're always looking for those other opportunities and thinking outside of the box, and maybe there's a smaller role, good role in a big film that might only need me for a week or something, so they're always looking for those different opportunities. Kind of like this film I did called Into the Deep. That's going to come out sometime this year. It was a film I did. It was filming in Thailand. It was an independent film, not a huge budget, but a really cool character, good people. And it was going to film for a couple weeks in Thailand before I started filming the third season of La Brea. So it was like those types of opportunities. Like, yeah, I'd love to do that. Why not? I've never been to Thailand. That's cool. I'll do that film. Why not? So there's like opportunities like that. They're always looking for them. So whether it's known that it's coming to an end or not, they're always looking out for those different opportunities.
You see a script sometimes and you go, that's not for me, or I don't, this seems silly. Has you ever had that moment where suddenly you passed on something and you're going, wow, it blew up?
I've had a few go the opposite way. Where I thought they were going to be great, and they went backwards. Like, what? But it's funny because my very first movie that I did, Gladiator, the boxing movie, I remember hearing the producers. It's more the producers. I remember hearing them saying, "Oh man, when we come out, we are going to be the number one movie. We're going to make like $100-something million. We're going to just, they just said it's going to be a big movie, right? So okay, sure. Movie comes out, but there was another movie out at the same time that came out a few weeks before. A little film called Wayne's World.
Oh, I hear that movie had some legs. I just heard that. I don't know. Oh,
So they were like, oh, we're going to blow Wayne's World out of the theaters, and yeah, that didn't happen. And Wayne's World went on like for another, I don't know, 10 weeks of number one or whatever. We were in and out of the movie so quick. If you blink, you missed us. But I've been really fortunate to work on projects that honestly I never thought about at the time when I said yes to doing a project, if it was going to be a big project or not, or if it was going to make a lot of money or blow up or not. Maybe there were some thoughts, but I've never even thought about that. I always just thought about this is going to be a cool project to work on, or a cool role, I could really get into, and hopefully a lot of people get to see it. But if they don't, they don't. I still give 100% regardless either way. So I don't really think about that. But I've been fortunate.
We got about 2 minutes left, and I haven't asked this question a little bit, but I'm always amused by it. A couple of the opportunities that fame provides us, we were able to go to the White House. We were able to go to the Oscars. What is one of the coolest things that fame has brought you?
I'll say this because he just recently passed. Carl Weathers, who just recently passed. So for me, with this industry, this career has been able to do is I've been so fortunate to be able to work alongside heroes of mine that I had growing up. I mean, like when I was a kid watching Rocky in the theaters, I never knew I'd be an actor, let alone one day get to work with Sylvester Stallone as his partner in a movie. And then I worked with Carl Weathers on Chicago Justice. I worked with Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa. I mean, for me, that's my number one movie.
That's
So
amazing. Oh,
for me, working with those, it's so sad. May you rest in peace. I just am so shocked to Carl Weathers passing. My manager Matt Luber is also his manager. So it's just it was a shock. But in regards to answering your question, it's like just this industry alone, being able to work with people that I just admire so much, and it's like those pinch me moments where you're like, is this real? Am I actually here with these guys? Am I actually doing this? I mean, I was, looking back to when I was a kid and going, man, who would have thought? So yeah.
well, that's amazing. I can't tell you how great it's been to talk to you, John. And La Brea is on NBC and streaming on Peacock, and hope to talk to you again.
You got it. Anytime. Thank you. Appreciate you.